Many buildings lose energy because they're badly designed, badly sealed, or badly ventilated. This instantly sets up energy efficiency as a design issue and not just as an electricity issue. So, what makes a building energy efficient? A building that is energy efficient uses less energy to perform the same tasks or produce the same results. This usually starts with the building itself, ranging from the envelope to the systems that make up the building to the whole thing that is put together to make up the building. Now, so how does a building become energy efficient? A building can become energy efficient at two different stages, either as a new building or as an existing building. Now we'll be taking a look at different ways in which a building can become energy efficient. The first way a building can become energy efficient is through the building envelope. The building envelope is one of the biggest reasons why buildings waste energy. This envelope is simply the shell of the building. It consists mainly of the roof, the walls, the floors, the windows, the doors, and every other element that makes up the shell. The shell decides how much heat gets into the building and how much heat gets out. It also decides how comfortable the building will be. If a building is, if the shell of a building is poorly designed, the building will struggle and consume more energy. But if the shell is well designed, the building would perform better. The second way a building can be made energy efficient is through insulation. So what does insulation imply? Insulation implies slowing down of heat flow into the building, in and out of the building. It is the slowing down of heat flow in and out of the building. This involves slowing down, keeping heat in during the cold weather and the reverse in the hot weather, that is, keeping heat out in the hot weather. The U.S. Department of Agency of the U.S. Department of Energy explains that insulation improves the comfort of the building and lowers the heating and the cooling costs of a building. So insulation is not just a technical detail, it is one of the simplest ways to reduce the loss of energy in a building. The next way is through air sealing. This means closing the leaks where air escapes out of the building and enters into the building. This is usually through parts of the building like windows, doors, and other parts of the building. This may look harmless, but actually it causes the loss of energy, to the heating and the cooling systems of the building. The next way is through air sealing. This means closing the leaks where air escapes out and enters into the building. This is usually through windows, doors, and other parts of the building. This may look harmless, but actually it causes the loss of energy and the use of more energy by heating and the cooling systems of the building. But if air sealing is maximized, it will improve the performance and the use of energy by these heating and cooling systems. The next way is through windows and daylighting. Windows is one of the ways through which of improving energy efficiency, as well-designed windows help to control the heat gain and the heat loss thereby of buildings, thereby maximizing the energy use and the amount of natural lighting, that is daylighting, that enters into the building. Now, what is daylighting? Daylighting means using natural lights to reduce the need for artificial lighting in a building, thereby maximizing the energy use. The next way a building can be made energy efficient is through ventilation. This is simply how fresh air enters the building and still air leaves, simply airflow in and out. But we need to be careful as to the kind of ventilation system we use in different kind of climates. For example, a building that relies on natural ventilation in a for example, in a hot and dry climate, a building can rely on natural ventilation, that is, airflow through windows and openings around the building. But in a hot and humid climate, a building cannot rely on natural ventilation. It would have to rely on active systems because of the kind of climate the building is. The last but not the least is HVAC systems. This means heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. These are systems which are responsible for controlling the temperature, the airflow, and the comfort inside the building. These systems are important, but they should not be the solution to bad design. This is because a building that is badly designed would put more pressure on the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems, thereby increasing the amount of energy consumption by these systems. But a building that is well designed, well ventilated, would reduce the pressure on these systems, thereby saving energy and cost. So why does all of this matter? It matters because a building that is energy efficient does not just save energy, it improves the experience of that building. It is brighter when it needs to be brighter. It is cooler when it needs to be cooler. And it is more stable over time. So, if you found this helpful, I would like you to subscribe for more on sustainable construction. And if you have any thoughts or questions, I would like you to drop them in the comment section.